Yeah, we can start.
All right. So here's the thing. I'll talk to you about all the interesting facts I've noted down about different countries of the world. And well, I'll start it up with Trinidad and Tobago. It's a it's a dual island Caribbean nation. Just a second. I think there's a bit error. Just a second. I'll get back. All right, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for the error. So, guys, I'll be talking about interesting facts about different countries of the world, and I'll ask my sister to move ahead with the PPT. I'll be talking to you about Trinidad and Tobago first. It's a dual island Caribbean nation, also the most developed Caribbean nation. It celebrates festivals in a major way, a grand celebration like us, of course. Well, the interesting fact is that standing in the middle of the ocean is possible in Trinidad and Tobago. Can you think about it? There's a place called Pigeon Point where we have a nylon pool in the middle of the ocean due to presence of a sandbar under the waters. You can spot the difference here. It is one of the country's biggest attractions. You can literally stand in the middle of the ocean here. It's a nylon pool in the middle of the blue ocean. You can totally make out the difference between the color. Can you go a slide back and let everyone see the difference between the colors, Koshi? There's a total difference where you can actually see a nylon pool here, and it's in the middle of the ocean, completely in the middle of the ocean, and one can easily one with average height can easily stand in the middle of the ocean. I'll request you to move ahead with the slides, Kushi. Let's move on to our another country, which is Mexico, or the Spanish translation, we can call it Mexico. So Mexico, we all have heard of Mexico, and we all might have different perspectives. I mean, I guess who would have guessed it that it's it is home to the world's largest pyramid. And well, Mexico is the country with the largest number of taxi cabs in the world. The taxi cabs are a very unusual color here. They are of pink color, where are they cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Pink color taxis are Mexico's monopoly. And well, we all know, great dinosaurs once roamed our great lands. Well, the meteoroid that wiped out dinosaurs struck Mexico. And well, it has 170 museums, second only to London, which has 200 museums. So it has quite a homage. We consider it a very aggressive country, but it has 170 museums. I'll move on to the next country, which is the Bahamas. Well, like us, like India, of course, Bahamas was formerly a British territory and it became independent in 1973. It was the landing site of Christopher Columbus, and the world's deepest blue hole is found in the Bahamas. And it is, I'll talk to you guys about blue hole once we are done with the Bahamas. It is made up of over 700 islands. Still, the highest point in the country is just 63 meters above the sea level. And well, who wouldn't like to live in such a country? There is no sales or income tax in the Bahamas. Yes, you heard it right the first time. No sales or income tax. And even after having 700 islands, that's quite a landmass. It is just 63 meters above the sea level. Even Moradabad is 250 meters above the sea level. That is our city, that is our hometown. And let's talk about blue holes. Blue holes are massive undersea skin holes. It is basically like a black hole. It has very scarce. Most of the water bodies have oxygen. They have oxygen which fishes breathe through. Blue holes have very scarce oxygen, which has totally different kind of adaptations and different kind of diversity lives among there. And blue holes actually help scientists to study what life would be like on other planets. I'll request you to move to the other country, please. The next country is this country in South America, which has one of the largest coastlines in the world. Well, it took 5 years of construction work, but the world's biggest swimming pool is in Chile. Also, you can find the driest place on earth, the Atacama Desert. It is a very popular tourist attraction. Most people go there because it is a very beautiful scenery. Even, many Bollywood movies are actually, they take up shooting in this place. Also, it is one of the most earthquake prone countries. Every 3 months there's an earthquake, and it's a devastating one. In Chile, the most popular tourist attraction is you could technically ski and surf in one day, which is actually a very good thing. This is what they boast of. When you talk to a guy of that particular country, they say you could actually come to our country and you could technically ski and surf in one day. All right, I'll ask you to move to the next country, please. It's Qatar. And I'll go with, well, let's talk about the safest country in the world. And in Qatar, Airways is the best airline. The Qatar Airways is the best airline, and in the world, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. The Qatar Airways is the best airline in the world, and talking about Qatar, it is the safest country in the world. And talking about the Qatar airport, the Doha airport, a giant teddy bear lives at the Hamad International Airport, which is also a major tourist attraction. It's the largest teddy bear in the world. There are and talking about a very interesting fact about the country, there are no forests in Qatar. And well, it is a country where the sea meets the desert. It was also the first Arab country to host the FIFA World Cup, and it was quite a successful one. And you'll be pretty amazed, but 99% of the population lives in Doha, the capital city. And the best thing is, I mean, not the best thing, we consider Sunday as a weekday. In Qatar, the Sundays are not the off days. In Qatar, the weekend is just Friday and Saturday. You might have to go to work on Sundays. You not might, you will have to go on Sundays because it's not a weekday. It's not weekend, it's a weekday. Let's move on to the another country, please. The next country is Madagascar. Well, it isn't totally a Disney film setting. It's a real country in Africa. We all know that. It's the world's fourth largest island, and it is home to 70 species of lemurs found nowhere else on the planet. Nowhere else. It's 70 species are there, and more than 50% of world's chameleon population is found on Madagascar. It is one of the poorest countries in the world, as they cannot depend on agriculture, as they have severe deforestation. And you might be surprised to hear it, only 11% of the country's roads are paved, which makes it the least transportable country in the world. Only 11% of the country's roads are paved. Let's move to another country, which is Ivory Coast. I'll request to move to the next slide, please. Yes, Ivory Coast. The English translation, everyone just calls it Ivory Coast, but even the government has a strict narrative that please not to call the country Ivory Coast, as it is called. The official name is Côte d'Ivoire, and well, the place gets its name from the ivory trade that took place during the 15th and 17th century. It is a small country, yet it is the host to the largest church in the world, which is the Notre Dame of Basilica of Our Lady of Peace. It is also the world's biggest cocoa beans producer. So good coffee, yes, I guess. It has one of the world's lowest life expectancies at just 57.4 years. Also, it was also the first Black Republic and the first non-English country to win an Academy Award. Let's move on to the next country, please. The next country is Tunisia. We're moving on to Europe. This is the third most visited country. All right, I'm sorry, it's in Africa. I'm sorry. This is the third most visited country in Africa, as it has some of the best preserved ruins worth traveling to see. The northernmost point of Africa is in Tunisia. That is why I was considering it in Europe, my bad. So the northernmost point of Africa is in Tunisia. Tunisia is home to world's largest amphitheater, which is El Jem Amphitheater. Move on to the next slide so everyone can see the amphitheater. This is the northernmost point. Go back. This is the northernmost point in South Africa, which is in the Africa at all. The northernmost point in Africa. It's a very big tourist attraction. It's in Tunisia. And then on the next slide, we have world's largest amphitheater, which is Elgem Amphitheater. And during the Roman Empire, this Tunisia country, it was the most strategic country. The country has and the country became a republic in 1957. It's 2023. The country has only ever had two presidents, which is quite a big deal. Let's move on to the next country, please. Monaco. Okay, it is the second smallest country in the world, and it's the smallest member of the United Nations. The smallest country in the world is Vatican City, but it's not a member of the United Nations. Also, let's talk about riches. 1 in 3 people who live in Monaco are millionaires. It also has a poverty rate of 0, which is quite astonishing. Monaco is smaller than Central Park in the New York City, and most people who live here are not from Monaco. Also, if you wish to live in longer, in case everyone, Monaco residents live longer than anywhere else on the world. It also has one of the world's most famous casinos, Monte Carlo, but it's only open to foreigners as gambling is restricted to the residents of Monaco, as they cannot gamble. But the casino is open to foreigners. It's a pretty famous casino. Most people from America, they're here and there. Monte Carlo, you must have heard of it. I'll move to the next country, please. The next country is Belarus. Well, if you're looking for a treasure hunt, Belarus is the perfect place for treasure seekers. It is said that Belarus may have the largest amount of buried treasure in Europe, hidden beneath its earth, due to countless wars that have occurred on its territory. Even World War II and World War I saw Belarus taking a big effect, because it was no man's land. It was an uninhabitable country, and lots of wars took place on the country. And well, imagine a country which makes their own mountains. Well, Belarus does. They had no natural mountains, so they made their own impressive artificial salt mountains. Can you believe this is all artificial? All right, let's move on to Norway. Okay, yep. It is one of the world's most happiest countries. And what's more, it is a safe and a peaceful country. So peaceful, the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony is held yearly in its capital, Oslo. Well, imagine a place where sun doesn't set. There it is, Norway. The sun doesn't set in summer. During the months of May and July, the sun only sets for 3 to 4 hours each night. And in June, the sun doesn't set at all. What you are seeing in front of yourself, it's the midnight sun. It's the sun at 3 a.m. in Norway. Also, it's one of the world's best places to see the northern lights. Norway is extremely beautiful. Let's move on to the next country, please. Yeah, well, let's talk about Peru. Well, for starters, the Amazon River begins in Peru, and well, it's the only country where you can swim and play with pink dolphins in the Amazon, only in Peru. Well, let's move on to the next slide, where we can see a bit of alien skulls which have been found in the people of Peru. Well, these are not actually alien skulls. This is the main Peru tribe which used to exist near 1950s, where they say when the newborn baby was born in Peru, the elders used to, push his skull very gently between wood so that his skull elongates, naturally not killing the baby because the skull has grown to average size. But, they actually used to put the baby between two wooden sculptures. I couldn't get a hold of that machine because it was not available. I tried to search for it, but this is what they used to do. So the skull used to get into this shape. So many of the people still believe that alien skulls have been found in Peru, but this is just the tribe, which actually used to rule Peru. So this was the thing that continued for a long time. And well, Peru is famous for colorful sand dunes. So it is quite astonishing because you don't find colorful sand dunes anywhere else. And well, this is for potato lovers. You can eat over 3,000 varieties of potatoes in Peru. So I guess Indians should really go there. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Well, I think it's the last of my countries because I couldn't prepare this very well, and uh, I was given ample amount of time, but I couldn't prepare it really well. So I think this is the last of my countries. But actually, everyone's going to love it because this country has a natural spa. There's this Milky Way lagoon where where there's this white mud. You know, white mud is found in this Milky Way lagoon, which is considered magical. The tourists and the locals, they apply it on their body, and they call it natural spa. And they say that your skin grows 5 years younger when you apply this. And it's actually good, skin getting 5 years younger and a natural spa with no side effects. It's actually magical. And the traditional which is also a very important thing, the traditional society in Palau is a matriarchy. Women are the decision makers in the society, which is a very good thing, I believe. And while the whole world sees sharks as villains, can you move to the previous slide, please, Kushi? Okay, while the whole world sees sharks as villains, Palauans were the first ones to protect them, to give them a heritage. The world's first shark sanctuary was set up in Palau in 2009. There was only one jail, one prison in the country, and that too is a tourist destination where you can actually buy things from the prisoners, which they make with their own blood and money. No, not money exactly, with their own blood. And so this is a very peaceful country, Palau. And I'm sorry I was not actually able to prepare it well because my health was not well. But I'll request Vaibhav Bhaiya to give me another session where I can actually I was not able to prepare the whole PPT, but I'll request Bhaiya for another session where I can go with another 15 countries which I have noted down, and I'll be more than happy to interact with everyone in this session.
Well, by बहुत ही amazing. Can you please tell me where is Palau? Where Palau is?
Palau is I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I forgot to mention it here. I had to mention it. Palau is in, like, it's in Oceania. It's just above Australia. It's right to Papua New Guinea, and it's right above Australia.
Wonderful. Hi Tanishk. Tanishk is a bit late.
I'm really sorry.
Okay. So Lakshay, would you like to tell everyone how? First of all, I would like to compliment you on this, and I would love to hear from everyone. What do you have to say, Sheetal Pankajji? It's his first session, and I think Lakshay, you are presenting first time this knowledge too in front of people.
I've done it several times academically, but that is a whole different scenario.
Academically. Okay.
Academically, we started our college on Zoom itself, and we
Uh-huh.
had to present different type of things on Zoom. But this time round, actually, I've been facing errors. My health was not well yesterday, and today itself, when I was working on my laptop, my laptop crashed and Windows software got deleted. So
Mhm.
I asked my sister to present it for me, and
Oh,
she's been
wonderful.
studying in Delhi. So
Oh
I was like,
wow. What a team effort.
yeah.
Wonderful, Khushi. Thank you for being here on Quanto ADDA. And it's wonderful to have youth here. And yeah, I would like to invite Sheetal, Pankaj Jyoti, our Quantos, to say a few words about Lakshay and his effort.
Come on, it was not that big of an effort. Please, Pontivia.
No, it was wonderful. Lakshay, just sit there and receive the compliments or whatever you're going to get.
Thank you.
Hi, it was really very informative session and a lot of efforts. And we would like to know how you started this and how मतलब कैसे हुआ आपको ये interest in this and like from childhood you were like about these facts and how this you cultivated this hobby. I can if
I,
you can let us know.
so after a while, after completing my graduation, I was a bit confused, and there's this 2 to 3 months break where you are actually deciding what to pursue in your masters. So I was actually deciding what to study, and there's this every day when I actually come from a business background, but I do not want to carry on my business. So when you actually, when you are at home and you got nothing to do, and then you feel like studying something, and I don't feel like burdening myself when you're studying. So I started feeling like let's get to know about. When I started picking up pieces, I did not even know how many countries are there in the world. So I started by telling myself that okay, there are 195 countries in the world, and 193 are UN recognized and two of them are not UN recognized. So I moved ahead that way. I came to know about United States, I came to know about Canada. I started from the North American continent. I went ahead one by one, and it took me months. So even I'm not complete yet. It took me months, and I'm still studying, I'm still on it, because it's a big world. We cannot hello, we cannot think about it, and it's a really big world. So even about this, but it's really nice, learning little things about every place. It's still very little, but at least we have some knowledge about the place. So when
It was
someone
wonderful. Yeah. And even my
when
daughter, she enjoyed the session. It was very informative. Thank you. Thank you for the
when
session.
so when somebody asks, we are not clueless about the place. Okay, this place, it's there, yes. So it was a pretty nice thing to do. And as a kid, I was not interested in geography. I'll tell you that. I was very scared of it. At the longitudes and the latitudes, I was really scared of it. I was like, what is this property, cancer, property of cancer? What is equator? What is all this? I was really scared of geography. But when I've grown up now, I think it's a very beautiful thing to do. That's really nice. That's really nice. I'm not able to read the chat. Okay. Okay, okay. I'll talk to her someday. I'll talk to her someday.
Congratulations on your first episode of Quanto.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Really very much exciting and very much knowledgeable session you have taken. I was more curious about
I think there's a bit of network trouble, but I surely appreciate the comments.
that talking about the giants and more little bit more about the giants footprints of the seashore. Have you heard of it?
Pankaj sir, what I'm guessing is if you'll turn your video off, we'll be able to hear your voice more clearly. Hello, Pankaj sir.
मैं कह रहा था कि जापान में एक रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट है
जी सर. सर एक्चुअली वॉइस ना बहुत कट के आ रही है. अगर आप वीडियो ऑफ करेंगे एक बार, कोई इशू नहीं है, उसमें से आपकी वॉइस ना बिल्कुल क्लियर आएगी.
मेरा बेटा
जी. हाँ, अब आपकी
ये कह रहा है कि जापान में रिसेंटली एक स्पेयर मिला है
जी.
उसके बीच पे कुछ उसके बारे में जानकारी है
किसके बारे में? जी सर.
मैं चैट पे बोल रहा हूँ ठीक है ना
Sir, please pardon. Actually, I'm not able to hear. I'm really very sorry. एक बार और बोल दीजिए sir. I'm really very sorry.
पंकज जी बोलना चाह रहे हैं शायद कि नेक्स्ट सेशन में हिंदुस्तान के फैक्ट्स लाओ भाई. ये क्या हो रहा है? इंटरनेशनल कंट्रीज की बातें कर रहे हो.
मैं समझ रहा हूँ. नेक्स्ट सेशन में एक काम करेंगे, सारे 28 स्टेट्स के और बाकी सारी यूनियन टेरिटरीज के सबके अलग अलग फैक्ट्स आएंगे. 1 मिनट पर एवरी स्टेट. 30 मिनट्स का ये एक सेशन मोंटीविया मेरे लिए डेडिकेट कर देंगे.
और हर स्टेट का फैक्ट उसकी लैंग्वेज में भी बोला जाएगा.
वो मैं सिर्फ बहुत कम लैंग्वेजेस बोल सकता हूँ. वो मेरे हिम्मत में नहीं है.
लक्ष्य क्या क्या बोल सकते हो आप लैंग्वेज?
I can speak a bit of Kannada because I stayed in Bangalore. A bit of, just to पंकज सर का एक्चुअली चैट आया है. एक बार मैं चैट कर लूं. Okay, they found some sphere. Do you know about it? So Japan is something I'll tell you about it. It's talking about Tokyo city itself. Tokyo city, the Tokyo urban area has more population than the whole country of Australia. And Australia is 500 times bigger than the Japan. 500 times bigger. So, जहाँ इतनी population है सर, जहाँ इतने सारे scientists हैं, जहाँ इतने सारे intellectuals हैं, वहाँ वो विकास तो निरंतर करते रहेंगे. क्यों पंकज सर? और जी हाँ, कोई ना कोई ब्रेक थ्रू उन्हें मिलता ही रहता होगा. बट आपका ये जो मैसेज है, इसके बारे में मैं और रिसर्च करके आपको बताता हूँ.
2-3 दिन पहले इनमें स्पेयर वाला है उनके शीशे. और उनके हॉलो है, they are examining it. So they are telling maybe that this came from the space.
मैंने actually I came across a news article and I was maybe going to read it, but I think something happened and I was not able to read the news article. But I will definitely research. I will definitely research on this topic, and I will talk to you about it in our next session for sure, sir. And let's talk about a bit of presence of aliens. I think it has happened in every country. Alien species have been documented, I guess. It's what do you say? Adaptation. I think many species which currently are around us, many different species which might have been alien at one point of time, they might have adapted to our culture and our diversity. Not culture exactly, our diversity, our biodiversity, our habitats. So I think aliens are not just, they might not be here to connect with us. They might be here to just live peacefully among other animals. Many species can be aliens. So ruling out the alien possibility is not always okay, because anything might have been alien from the past. What can we say? Kangaroos might have landed from space in Australia because you can only find them in Australia. There are more kangaroos in Australia than there are people.
Wow, Lakshay. So I really like the way when you include facts in your normal conversation. That shows your love towards it. We wish you all the best, Lakshay, कि आप इसमें थोड़ा और excel करो. And फिलहाल तो enjoy this thing. And you are a Quanto youth now, and we'll definitely talk and we'll discuss more. And it was really a fun session.
Thank you,
everyone. I really enjoyed it. Even my father really enjoyed it.
Thanks. And give my regards to him, please. Give my regards to him, please.
I told him. He was asking about you. Piyu Didi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Vaibhav. Thank you, Lakshay. It was an awesome session.
Thank you.
And Actually, I missed to attend the session, so I wanted the session's recording, because you have shared facts in a very simple manner. Because as you said, studying geography is not easy. But the way you have presented, you have given so many ideas for vacations. मैं सोच रही हूँ और कोई scrapbook बनवाती हूँ जिसमें सारे countries कैसे हो. तो you have given me ideas, and it was a really awesome session.
I thought I was.
And especially, I like the way you have prepared a PPT. You have presented with photographs, so you made it really interesting.
That was totally Vaibhav's idea. I was still thinking that I was fast forwarding with it, because I thought my speed was very fast. I was really sorry about it, but
No.
I was meant to cover 30 countries today. I just covered around 15. I was going to say sorry to Vaibhav, but it's
no
okay.
worries. We have lot of time.
Yes.
So you need to find out time for us. We have a lot of time to
Thank
carry
you.
on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an honor.
Thank you, Lakshay.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Or shall I say,
And
sir?
how are you?
Thank you, sir. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good.
Congratulations on your first ADDA session.
Ji, sir.
What I'm telling, congratulations on your first ADDA session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so bye करते हैं.
Bilkul, sir. It was meant to be a 30-minute session. It has exceeded a bit.
Yeah, so I kept 30 minutes for you. I was like 30 minutes would be good enough for you, and then we can have 10 minutes of conversation that we had.
Yes. Okay.
लक्ष्य इसको ना हम थोड़ा आगे इवॉल्व करेंगे नेक्स्ट सेशन के लिए, है ना. इस सेशन को हम और नेक्स्ट लेवल लेकर जाएंगे. अब आप उसके बारे में सोचना, है ना. हम उससे डिस्कस करेंगे.
बिल्कुल 100%.
Thank you. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you everyone for being here.